So let's review Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album, okay? This is a classic that was released in 1979, all right? And this is like the second solo album by Michael Jackson. Most people feel like this is the first solo album, but this is his first solo album as an adult, okay? He had his first solo album, I believe, was 1972 with the single Ben. He had his first single release with the song Ben. But this album was the first album with Michael Jackson by himself that helped people realize and solidify him as the superstar that he was. See, he was later given the name King of Pop about 10 years later, once he get to the Bad era. But this was a start of a sequel of 3 albums that he will produce with the legendary producer Quincy Jones, okay? And the production of Off the Wall started in 1970s, 1977, around the time when Michael Jackson was recording The Wiz, okay? And for most of the people, y'all know what The Wiz is. It's a black adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, which was actually a Broadway play. And Michael Jackson allegedly met Quincy Jones during that period, and they hit it off, and then they just start to discuss things, and it led to them working on Michael Jackson's solo album, okay, which would end up being Off the Wall, okay. In this album, it has a series of spin-off hits that basically catapulted Michael Jackson's career to the next level, okay? The first song on here, and these are the first 2 singles off of here, and they got it in a particular order. It's a 10-track album. The first songs, of course, most people know is Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, which is like one of his big top like number ones, and Rock With You. And you know, for the new people out there, please go check out those songs, because I know people think like it's Michael Jackson. How could some people not know who he is? But we got a whole 20-something year millennium people who might not know who Michael Jackson is. Shockingly enough, and it's because it's literally been, how many years it's been? Over a decade since he died. He died in 2009, and it's 2021. So it's been like 11 years, more than that, since the King of Pop has been not with us anymore. So this is a big gap, and I'm hoping that on my podcast, with me mentioning these certain albums, I hope to bridge the gap, the musical gap of people that's out there who listen to certain artists and think like, oh, this person made this. You got to understand that Michael Jackson has samples galore with a lot of people that you love who have sampled their music, and that includes like Ashanti, Rock With You, Baby, that comes from Rock With You, the actual single, Michael Jackson, I Wanna Rock With You. Sorry if I hurt y'all ears with my singing all night, okay? That catapulted so many people to have different Rock With You songs, like, you know what I'm saying? We begin to rock. All right, I don't know if that song influenced them, but that came on after Rock With You. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, Michael Jackson, the overall album Off the Wall really is him arriving as an adult and saying, here I am, this is me, you know what I'm saying? And it's so many great songs on here that from beginning to end there's no skips, okay? The other single, Working Day and Night, a classic jam. It's just an upbeat, up-tempo song. You know, it's just a feel good, and it has that disco feel to it. You know, it still has a disco feel because this is the late 70s, 1979. And the thing about it is, most disco songs, you know, that you play now, you know that it's dated, but if you hear Off the Wall, you could just like, it just feels so classic. And I remember growing up, you know, because I was born in the 90s, 91. My grandmother playing his music, and this song Rock With You always stuck with me. You know, it's something about the tempo, the feel, his voice that made me just be like, wow, like this is magic. This is amazing. You know what I mean? And you know, that's the magic of Michael Jackson just as an artist, you know what I mean? The work that he put in and created. And it's just, it was a time, you know, to see him and know that I actually lived while he lived is just truly an honor, because there's a lot of newcomers and new children that's grown up and everything else that did not grow up in the era of Michael Jackson. It's like, y'all got to understand this history of music. There's so many people who feel like they know music, but you do not know music until you study and listen to the discography and the catalog of Michael freaking Jackson, okay? Michael Jackson did some boss moves. Like, he bought out the Beatles catalog and basically helped to give the money back to a lot of rock and rollers, including Little Richard and everything else, and giving their money back for them being ripped off back in the 1950s and 60s. And Michael Jackson had done so many different things just as an artist. And, you know, he came off with a shy demeanor, but he was a very smart businessman, and even more, very talented musician, and literally the greatest entertainer of all time. That's what Berry Gordy said at his funeral, and that's something I agree with. But anyway, the next track on Off the Wall is track 4, Get on the Floor, and that's another, like, that's more of a dated disco song, you know what I mean? It's more of, you know, that it's like the 1970s with that song. Live Life Off the Wall is the title track, and that one is definitely, like, you know, it's I can't explain the sounds. Like, it has if the world is on your shoulders, all of his songs was like radio friendly, like radio ready songs. You know how you listen to somebody's album and you be like, okay, that's the radio song, and then the rest of the songs you're like, yeah, whatever, play through. With this album, most of the songs that's on here are good. I want to say 50% of it has been put out on the radio as singles. You know what I'm saying? Another one that's like a slow jam, She's Out of My Life. That's a classic slow jam. He has a music video for that as well. And also, Michael Jackson's like one of the first artists to do music videos. He's the ones that literally put out the entire blueprint for music videos. Before Michael Jackson, there wasn't really any music videos per se. There would be live performances recorded, but Michael Jackson actually put together music videos. He was one of the first, and his music video Rock With You and Don't Stop Till You Get It Up was revolutionary because of the green screen being used, the sequence colors, all of these different things were so new and so vibrant, and that made Michael Jackson stand out, you know, against his, you know, all of the other R&B people that was out there. They started seeing him as a pop R&B artist, and it really helped him cross over and really, you know, just gain more attention outside of him performing since he was like a child. Of course, since he was 7, 10 years old with the Jackson 5, him catapulting as an adult, it's hard for you to cross over as an adult, you know, as a performer, but he did that. The next song we got is I Can't Help It. Oh my God. That's such a classic. And that song is actually sampled in another song. What is it? Dun, 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 dun. It's sampled in several songs. I'm trying to pull out the song. I don't know why it slips my mind right now. What song is that samples? What song samples? Here we go again. It's Portrait. Here we go again. Portrait samples I Can't Help It. And that's Portrait is one of my, that song from Portrait from the 90s was sampled, is a sample from Michael Jackson's I Can't Help It. So they sampled Michael Jackson to make that song Portrait, a song that they have during the 90s. And it's like, you know, I'm trying to fix my mic. All right. That single from Portrait actually was sampled by Michael Jackson. I Can't Help It. And that song is Here We Go Again. And you can hear it dun 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 dun. And as a DJ, like, it's certain things that I notice a lot with samples that most general public don't know, but I remember, and I, you know, studied about that history because I always wanted to know more about that. But anyway, the last two songs on here is Falling in Love. That song is the Falling in Love. Y'all gotta check it. That song is like more of a pass by song, but you know, I enjoy that song. And then Burn This Disco Out. This basically gives you the full dated feeling of that studio, what is it, Studio 54 or whatever type of vibe, type of feel and stuff. But overall, this album was an A+, and it actually won Michael Jackson his first Grammys as a performer, as an independent solo artist. And you know, this is something that you guys need to check it out. Of course, I downloaded, I done bought it. I got Michael Jackson vinyl on my walls and stuff. Y'all listen. I done, you know, I'm always been a listener of Michael Jackson, but those are my picks of the week when it comes to the music side. So y'all check that out. If you guys are newbies to Michael Jackson, never heard his music before, check out his album Off the Wall. I know it's probably bizarre for me to say that, but I know there's someone in the world who hasn't heard Michael Jackson music in entirety. Y'all need to hear his full albums, his work. And this album was produced by Quincy Jones. If you guys don't know who Quincy Jones is, he literally made all of the music from the past 20th century. Okay, all right. Think of Ray Charles, all of that. Okay, this man don't work with Frank Sinatra. Quincy Jones is a freaking genius. And also look up Rod Temperton as well, who is also a producer and a writer for Michael Jackson over the past 3 albums that he had. Like I said, it was a sequel. And Michael Jackson's albums of Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad was produced by Quincy Jones, and Rod Temperton was involved as well. But yeah, like Rod Temperton is deceased as well. Quincy Jones, big up to Quincy Jones. He's one of the last legends we got left in the music game. But yeah, y'all need to check that out and listen to that album. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And then if you listen to that, see if you notice any samples from other songs. And that's the stuff that I like to do, is like pick at people's brains. See if you notice a sample. You know, research Portrait song and then research off Michael Jackson's I Can't Help It. Tell me if y'all hear it. The song is Here We Go Again, Portrait. Research that and y'all tell me, you know, if y'all can catch where the sample is in the song, because it's really the first part of it. But Michael Jackson's music has always been sampled. You know, he made a lot of money from people just sampling his music. You know what I mean? But anyways, Off the Wall, check out that album. That's part of my album review. But outside of that, y'all, you know, I just want to say I appreciate everybody for tuning in for episode 50. You know, this is a milestone. Most people don't even make it to episode number 10, episode 40, let alone me making it to damn episode 50. So I really appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. You guys, I'm going to be putting out some more material. I know it's been a lot of, you know, a little bit of delay and everything else because, you know, I have so much stuff going on. It's been a crazy, tumultuous past few weeks, but, you know, I'm back on my microphone. I'm so excited. And matter of fact, this is the last week of Black History Month. So happy Black History Month. Okay, happy Black History Month. Shout out to all the ancestors, you know what I'm saying, and all the people that we've recently lost. We've lost actually Mary Wilson from the Supremes. I don't think I mentioned that because I think she passed in the midst of me doing all this other stuff. So I want to give a rest in peace to Mary Wilson of the Supremes. It's only one Supreme left now, Miss Diana Ross. So you know what I mean. So let's just try to honor our legends and everything else. And may she rest in peace. And rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. I think I might have mentioned Cicely Tyson in my last episode, but you know, we've lost a lot of people who's made Black history and stuff like that. And speaking of which, I heard that Stevie Wonder went on Oprah, and because Oprah did like a one-on-one interview with him, and he said he's moving to Ghana to get away from racism. And honestly, I really don't blame the man. Okay, he done been around for 70 years, and he basically saying he want his family to see a better life. And I mean, if he want to move to spend the rest of his days there, I'm with you. Go ahead and take yourself on over to the continent of Africa and have some peace, at least away from so much racial injustice and things that goes on here in the States or whatever. But yeah, that was some other stuff I heard also. But anyways, you guys do me a favor. If you guys haven't already, shared this podcast. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you